Cool, cool, cool. Welcome back to Chopping It Up with Dads, presented by Let's Be Dads, where real fathers have real conversations about life, growth, and what it means to show up for our families. As a father, we have visions for our kids, who they'll become, what life will look like for them, the path we imagine they'll walk. But sometimes life unfolds differently than we expect. Tonight, we're talking about parenting through adversity, loving your children through challenges, and what it means to show up as a father when your child faces judgment, pressure, or struggles in the world. Because at the end of the day, fatherhood is about love, protection, and growth for both the parent and the child. Once again, it's your boy York. We got my guy McLeod. Got our guest Mr. Bruce over there. How you boys doing tonight?
Doing
I'm
good,
doing
bro.
great. How about you doing? How
I'm
y'all
good.
doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed to be alive. Cloud, how you doing, buddy? You all right?
Yeah, bro, I'm good, man. Just like we talked earlier, kids just sick, man. So just being able to just lock in on them and take care for them and see how much that's a big curveball in just life right there when our kids get sick. So just like
Yeah, it
maintaining through that,
sucks.
it definitely sucks, man.
Yeah, it definitely sucks, bro. Man, mine was in the hospital, so and it's like nothing you could do, bro. You just gotta let them be sick, man. Let it kind of
Bro,
take its
they
course,
been
bro.
out of school this whole week. Boy,
Ain't oh
when
nah,
I
not
tell
mine.
you, hey, look, talk about stress been boom. But
Yeah,
other than that, man, just it's I mean, still been good, but just seeing babies like be sick like that, it hits different. So
nah, for definitely, yeah, definitely as a father. All right, Bruce. So get into our first segment. So we got expectations versus reality and parenting. First conversation. Did you ever imagine life would look different for your kids than it does now?
I have, but I grew up with a dyslexic child, and then two gay sons. So I have imagined it to look different from what it is now. Both of them played football and everything, and so you look at the NFL, but then it took a curve at the high school and college.
Cloud.
yeah, you said expectations and
Expectations versus reality. Did you imagine life looking differently for your kids and what it looks like now? As far as dealing with adversity or something like that.
I mean, right now, with them being young, I expect them to do like these certain things from what I tell them. So it's like for the most part, I haven't gotten any curveballs. It's has a little incidents on certain things, but overall, nah. I think it's pretty much like what I'm expecting right now because they still toddlers, so they still
Yeah,
learning
yeah.
the world, learning the parents in general. So right now, I feel like they doing what is expected.
I thought mine would be different. I got a son that got autism, so McLeod knows Bruce. I got a son that got autism, so it's a constant struggle daily. I'm grateful. It's great. I'm grateful that he only has it mildly. He doesn't have it to where he has to be in a room or stuff like that. So, but it's still challenges. We're trying to get him to learn things, to get him to understand. To get him, he doesn't understand sarcasm, so he just be looking at me, stuff like that. But even that,
Curious all the time.
yeah, he curious all the time, but as he get older, my goal, I feel like my goal is to, yeah, you have that adversity, but how can I learn about autism to allow you to grow in it, to be better, to be the best man you could be. Yeah, you got autism, but how can you be great with it? How can so yeah, it does alter my reality because I never thought I would have a child or never imagined having a kid with a disability, or any type of adversity. We do go through that in life, but to go to the doctor and to see it in your child and to kind of have to deal with it, and I think as fathers, black men, I think the hardest thing for us to do is to accept whatever adversity, right? Whether it's Mr. Bruce said his child being gay or having a disability, or your child may not just you may be religious and your child isn't, having that. The goal. I think the goal is to more so is to figure out how to understand it. You may not have to accept it because you're not going to accept everything your child does. It's not. It's
And
not for you.
yeah,
God didn't put that on you. So
yeah, and that's what I
Well,
was gonna bring up too.
I
Now
would
that
I
you
would I would say this though. Okay, being an older gentleman, I would say this. Uh, it's not your job as a father to judge, but it's your job as a father to love.
Mm,
So, uh, to love unconditionally is to accept it, because my biggest thing is I just want my kids to be loved. I don't care who they love. I just want them to be loved. When they get to the pearly gates, then they have to answer for whatever sins they have. I will tell you that I actually left a church because they was telling us that if your child is gay or your sister or brother is gay, you're not supposed to love them. And
mm,
I'm sorry, but you can do business, but at the same time, they can do business with somebody that was gay or whatever, you know. And my thing is this: I love my kids unconditionally, no matter who they love, and I would tell you that through that dealing with that that in my child being my youngest child being dyslexic, and it's amazing because I found out through him that I probably am dyslexic also, because that's a hereditary
mm,
disease. So, but when I went to school, back when I went to school, they didn't test you for all that. You just had to figure it out.
Hmm.
But now my same son, that same son that found out in fourth grade he was dyslexic, they tried to hold him back in fifth grade. But then when we fought for it, they put him back there. He is two classes away from his doctorate degree right now.
congrats.
Well,
Oh, playing with
thank
that
you.
boy.
Once we found out what was wrong with him, was able to get him the help, he was able to overcome all that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think so as a so I grew up. I didn't grow up. I grew up with an old school mom, Baptist mother, in church. So I would ask you as a father, from the older generation. I know it wasn't as common as it is now to be so acceptive of your child being gay or having a disability. Were you like this at first, or did it take you time to kind of grow into being acceptive of the what your children had decided to do? I know, of course, your other son, he didn't have a choice. It's just it's hereditary, but
Well, I will tell you this: I grew up with an old school mom too, but my mom was Jehovah's Witness. You know, so when I left the house and went into the army, I made my own religious journey and stuff like that. But one thing that I always said, because I saw it when I was younger, you're right, I saw it when I was younger, parents not accepting their children because of their choice of who they love. And I said I would never do that. So, and as a matter of fact, my older son, the older one, when he came out, we already knew he was gay. We was just waiting for him to tell us.
it'd be
You
like, bro,
know,
about
so
time.
so yeah, we just was waiting for him to tell us. And when he told us, we was like, we already knew that. Tell me something new.
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
know. But this is the thing. Sometimes you have to get over those small things, because the measure of a man is what he does when he's faced with adversity.
hmm Yeah, I love my kids no matter what. My son that has autism, he gets a little more attention because he needs it, but the same way I love my other kids, my other two kids doesn't change. I don't care what my kids end up being, whatever. I think you still gotta love them. The fact that you kind of adapted to that and even could do that, and even you was able to step away from a church. Some people can't do that. Some people are so rooted in religion that
Into it.
they can't do that. But the fact that you was able, in order to, and I feel like that goes more to protecting your kids than protecting yourself, which leads into the next thing.
Yeah.
Do
Let,
you think
let,
it was?
let me
Go ahead, McLeod. Go ahead. My bad.
yeah,
Go ahead. I
let me
forgot you didn't even interject.
yeah, so like one of the things which I feel like I don't want to accept is like my wife keep telling me I think something's going on like with my middle daughter, because I'm seeing like certain signs and stuff, like she kind of has like a lips and she walk on her toes and stuff like that, and she getting opinions from the school, and then even with my older daughter, like the teachers are basically saying, oh, I think your daughter has ADHD. So for
Hmm
me, it's I'm I I'm so quick to y'all trying to label everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it may be certain signs, but I know y'all trying to put a label on it, and I refuse to let the label be on there. So I kind of find ways of, okay, if she's struggling in this area, let me just at least help her with it. Like I understand, okay, if she's getting up out her seat and you saying she had ADHD, but when I'm telling her to go sit down, like she sits down. So it's like, what are you doing as far as like correction? You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm in a position where it's like they're saying something because they're trying to put a label on it, and I just got to agree. So with me, I'm like, I'm not agreeing, and I'm trying to see what I can do to correct it. Because you know these psychologists and all this going to tell you, well, your daughter has these symptoms. She's walking on her toes. She's had these symptoms. Well, let me just help her. You know, so me, I don't want to just throw it on them, but I just feel like if you work with your child as much as you can, those titles will remove. So it's like, yeah, it's an adversity in a way, but yeah, it's something different. But it's like I feel like it could be helped in a way. So I think that would be my only thing that I kind of wanted to add to the whole that part of it.
So I got a question, right? Right.
Talk to me.
Would you would you rather a realtor look for your house, or would you rather yourself do it and be inexperienced? Now
Because I
think
help
about
others.
that. Think about that. Think about that. Right. Think about that.
First off, I
It's,
am a realtor, so I
okay.
mean,
No
I
no
can
no no
still
no
go
no no
look
no
for
no
my
no no
own
no no
house.
no
You know what
no
I'm
no.
saying?
Okay. So all right, bet. So think about that question. You have no degree or whatsoever. So we I noticed the signs in my son when he was about 1.5, maybe one. He wasn't speaking. First sign of autism, everybody they'll speak. Now boys do develop a little slowly than girls. It's everybody knows that. But when we noticed the signs, we wasn't so quick to I don't say you don't have to be quick to get them tested, but I think you as a father and as if we're trying to push his new generation, we have to be willing to accept what it is. We notice these signs. So what's the harm in getting your child tested? You don't, get them tested, see what it is. All right, cool. What is this? But
I
you don't
got them
necessarily,
tested,
but
but I don't have to agree though. That's my
you
thing.
don't, you don't, but don't limit your child to just what you know. Limit them to what the world the it's the reason why my son go to why he in the Plano why he in the ISD. I don't know how to teach a child well. I don't know. I don't know. I can love you, I can discipline you, I can instruct you, I can mentor you in a way to be the, outside of the school to instill what they but you don't know, bro. You feel me? And it's
Yeah,
and you don't have to always because they reeling all that stuff. We don't worry about it. They got this. Okay, cool. Well,
yeah,
how can you do it without medication? Sports, activities, stuff like that. Therapy is different ways, bro. So don't be, but just think about that. Do you want,
yeah. Don't dismiss
I
it.
prefer
I
to have
got
a
you.
relative. I prefer to have a relative. But once again, you don't have to follow what they put out. It's just a guideline of how to help your child. I don't follow everything that they tell me. No, I don't. Some things don't pertain to my baby. He can read a book. He don't need to. It's we passed that. So let's figure out how can we help him. So that way, yeah, you got ASD, but goddamn it, boy, you're gonna be the best goddamn child with it.
Yeah, that's a
And I'd rather
fact. I
get
got
you help so we can, help you learn with it. And it's like I said, bro, you don't have to follow everything, but if you see it and you got them tested, bro, at least do something. Don't just let them because when they get 18, 19, it's gonna be harder to send them to help to OT, to speech, to things like that. You feel
Yeah,
me? So to anybody out there, but go ahead, Mr. Bruce. You want to say something?
I would say this. There's a lot of people that went to a whole lot of schooling so that they can assist your child with those disabilities. But where we come in, and this is a cultural thing, where we come in, we don't want our children to be labeled or we don't want our children to be treated different. But our Anglo-Saxon counterpart, they're getting their kids labeled so that their kids can have a leg up there so that they can go study and all that stuff. And I will tell you, using my son Brian as an example, once he got his privileges, as they call them, at first he was making all D's and C's. He got his privileges and he started making all straight A's and B's.
you.
But what if I would not have had him tested and had the privileges available to him? Then he would have set him even farther back from his counterparts because of my thoughts or my beliefs. Okay, and like York was just saying, now it's okay to do something a little bit different, but utilize your expertise to your advantage and not to their disadvantage.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, learn about it, bro. I learned about it, bro. Like it wasn't, and we like I said, as a parent, you're there every day, so And this is no knock on you, McLeod, bro, for feeling how you feel. Every teacher's on, bro, and this is to
I'm
any
pretty sure
father
there's
out
other
there.
people that's watching
But
this
yeah,
feel the same
it's
way.
nobody, everybody like this, but I think you just gotta learn about it. And so, speaking of being labeled and I guess ha- it's being hard to accept. Do you feel like when it comes to adversity or your child being different, is it harder for you as the parent, or is it harder, for your child to accept it or to go through life with it? I want to answer that first.
Well, I answer. Uh, I think it's harder for some parents, but the problem is when the parent don't accept it, the child don't accept it, and because they might not see everything you do, but they do everything you do everything they see. So if they see that you don't accept it, then they won't accept it. So that puts them back even a little bit further because when they're in the classes, my parents don't accept this. I ain't got to do this because I don't believe that I'm dyslexic. But I'm like, York, I told my son, you're gonna be the best dyslexic motherfucker in the school. And I look at him, he working on his doctorate
Facts.
degree.
Facts, bro.
So I mean, I'm gonna tell you honestly, there's tools out there now that will help our children function normally in life. We just have to be able to overcome our egos or our feelings and allow them to have access to those tools so that they have a fair they you level the playing field that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a thing though. Defining normal. Normal to who? You feel me? Because
to
I could
your
feel
to
like,
your
well,
environment.
yeah, I mean, I get that, but it's like, man, my child may have like autism or like ADHD or something, but it's like define normal for them could just be within their own world. Like I feel like every person are structured in their own lane. Like I seen a video, bro, of a person that was in New York just laying on the ground. Nobody was like worried about him at all. So it's like just being in your own lane and doing things structured to you and your life. Why would other people's opinion matter? In school, it may be different because now we trying to reach a certain degree of education. So yeah, we got to function. We can't be standing on tables or at a workplace environment all over the place because we still got to fulfill people's orders and stuff like that. So it's like creating just a certain level of discipline within our kids should be something the parents teach, not necessarily the school system in a way. So it's like the level of learning could be defined on your success with your child. I mean, I might be thinking too deep into it, but it's just I
Nah, it's you not the only one. 'Cause I think the same thing with what is normal for a child that has a ASD or that chooses to live a different life or whatever the case is. What is normal? But what's normal for a normal person? A normal person goes through adversity every day, no matter if it's work, no matter if it's cooking, cleaning, going to the grocery store, dealing with your boss.
yeah,
Dealing with if you got kids, dealing with your kids every day even if they don't have a disability or any adversity, having kids alone, we all got them. It's
yeah,
stressful as it is, dog. Come on, bro. So I think it's
for
whatever, but I think for me, I think it was harder before we got my son diagnosed compared to after. Once I kind of knew, but you kind of be in denial because you like, nah, come on,
yeah,
God, and then you be praying about it, and it's like, come on, now come on, I know I couldn't have been that bad to have this happen, whatever. But then I think it grew on me. the type of person he was, how it made him so loving. He's so sweet. He's like, bro, like you could like, bro, this man's so sweet. So but now it's but the question is, is this more so towards the toddler age or or people get older? I think when kids get older, sometimes it's harder to accept because they may be judged differently, or
Yeah,
they feel me when you get to high school or something like that. So
yeah, I definitely seen that a lot in high school too. Like, and it sucks, bro. I was on the west side of school and everything, and I seen people like that was disabled and people that wasn't disabled, and they just kept picking on them. So it's kind of like heartbreaking in a way, but it's like in those moments, do you prepare your kids for that, or is that something they have to learn? Because that's the adversity part. This is not the parents' adversity; it'll be the child's adversity because they may have that certain disability, but now they have to go through life dealing with people that's bullies and stuff like that. So it's like
But
I
you
feel like we could mold them into like overcoming that, but at the same time, that's their adversity where they have to learn how to block that noise and like try to push forward. Go ahead, Bruce. You were saying something?
but you prepare them through the social services that are out there for
Yeah,
them to learn. You take the experts and put them on your team and have them help you prepare them because a lot of times you just see that one child. They see thousands of kids with these same symptoms, same disabilities, and things like that. So, and they had to go through studies to figure out what may help them in the future. So, the earlier you get them assistance, the less pressure they have in the future to go to school because they know how to deal with it. They know how to cut out the
they're
white
aware of
noise.
it now.
it teaches you a little earlier. So imagine like the military. What's the first thing you do when they get in the military? They break you down. They teach you how to be a normal soldier, whatever a normal soldier is. So it's kind of the same. Now they may not break you down when you go to these services, but they're teaching you how to be a normal kid in your environment with whatever you have. And it's the same thing whether you have a disability or if you're part of the gay or whatever the case. The same thing. You have to learn how to adapt. And I think when you don't have acceptive parents, then it makes it that much harder. And like
Yeah,
Bruce was saying, you have
so
to learn about these things. You have to learn as a parent to be acceptive, and then be able to say, no, I'm not going here. You telling me I can't love my child? Well, we're not going here. We'll find it's a church somewhere that don't care.
yeah,
My money green, they gonna take it. Somebody need tithes and offering. And if don't nobody want it, well damn it, we'll watch it on TV, and then we'll put it up for the kids. I got to.
facts.
You feel me? So I think just doing that, and that really shows unconditional love. Like,
It does.
bro, I don't care. My babies come first, and if you can't accept them for who they are, then you quite frankly can kiss my ass, all of it. And
And
you know,
also you got to think about this. What if you went to your father and said, I like women, and he did not like that, and he disowned you? The
mhm.
worst person to disown you is your parents because they supposed to love you regardless of what you like. As long as you don't go up to them and slap the crap out of them, they supposed to love you. You see what I'm saying? So when they come home and they finally get up the courage because they probably it probably takes them so hard to get up the courage because they done heard off-brand jokes and different things that you were around and everything, and might be scared that you gonna deny them already. So when they get up that courage to say, "Hey, this is how I am," it's your job as a father and a leader to let them know that life could still be normal. Because they going once they walk out your door, they're gonna already get the whole field of it. So
So you might as well give it to them
your
at
door,
home.
right, your door is supposed to be a safe place.
Yeah, yeah. I love you, but I may be a little tough, but baby, look, it's gonna be worse in the world. So, I'd rather you come tell me I should have been hard on you than I wasn't hard enough.
Mhm.
No matter what you got going on, you feel me? So it's just you gotta love your kids. At the end of the day, you gotta love your kids unconditional, no matter what they are, what they got going on, what they like. Bro, I don't care. Now, see, you ain't doing some things in my house. That's just a no.
Oh yeah,
It just ain't
your
gonna
dad.
happen. Some things just don't go down in my house, no matter
Yeah.
what. Now, I'm not big on religion, but I do still have some values. So some things just ain't going. But I'm gonna still love you. Come on, bring them. I don't care, daughter, son, whatever. Whatever you how you feel. I don't care. If you couldn't speak, I'm still love you. Couldn't talk, couldn't see, I'm still love you. So
In
that
that
transition.
moment of I want to say like vulnerability for your sons, like what was pretty much like the talk that you had with them to kind of like reassure them like it was a safe place for them. Like how did you handle that just as a black man in general? Because off rip we already get black like, backlash about all that anyway. So just like in that moment, how did you handle that? Just
Honestly, the way I handled it was when they told us we by time the second one came out, but actually by the time either one of them came out, we already knew. So when they said something, I was like, "So we already know that. Tell me something new." I mean, and my youngest son, before he came out, he had girlfriends and all that stuff.
I
So
bet
then
it's
next,
it's
what do you
it's, prob-
do
it's,
you feel
it's
like it
probably so
was
refreshing too. I think that, my bad. I'm gonna cut you. I think that's so dope. As a Bruce, I grew up with just pretty much a single mother. Like I call him a sperm donor. That's what he did. He wasn't really there. Whatever the case is. So to even have that, especially as a black man, even back there in that day, you like, yeah, hey pops. I like, man, well, damn son. But I've been waiting on you to come on. I had a bill waiting for you. I've been waiting to come have this conversation. And I think that is so inviting because it's like, oh, what's up, Pops? I ain't even knew I was scared, and then boom, you found out. But I think that goes back to having your kids comfortable with being able to come to you and you building that trust to say, hey, okay, cool. Well, hey, Pops, I'm a little nervous, but I got to talk to you. And then the Pops being like, hey, what? Shit, we knew. You ain't see your first one. We knew. We did. We've been through this already, so we knew. So I think that's dope. And kudos. And I like to give flowers. So kudos to you for doing that, especially back then that time because it was very and even now it's more. But man, it was so kudos for you doing that and and really loving your kids unconditionally for that.
nah for real.
well, I rather love my child unconditionally than to lose my child, because
Yeah.
if you don't show them love, or if you turn away from them, you just lost a child, which in retrospect is a bigger loss than anything else. Plus, as a man, as a leader, how can you say I'm a leader when I let my child walk away into the wolf's den because I know how everybody else is?
Mm. So speaking of being a leader,
That's
so
on
we're going
fire right there,
segment
boy.
two. That's some five, but speaking of being a leader. Segment two: mentorship through adversity. Sometimes fatherhood isn't just about the kids you raise; it's about the lives you influence. I'm gonna play this quick video real quick, and then we're gonna talk about it. Y'all can see that, right?
Yeah.
I was walking out of the mall one time and this dude come up to me. I think I was like 20 something, like 25 or something. He come up and he's like, "Hey man, I appreciate your work. I'm an actor and I want you to be my mentor." And I thought it was weird because I was like, "It's grown. Like, why are you telling me?" But I just had never had that happen to me before, and I didn't know what a mentor was.
So we got copyright. We can't copyright infringement. I going to play a certain amount. So when it comes to being, so I don't have a mentor. I never really grew up with a mentor. I know McLeod talks about. I believe Bruce, this your mentor, right, McLeod? This is one you talking about,
Yep.
right? Okay,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So McLeod's told me about you and talked about you. I never had a mentor, so I know you want to talk about. So why do you feel like having a mentor? And I think it kind of goes back to like you said, you can't be a leader of other men if you can't really be a leader of your house. If you can turn your kids, away. So what is it about you that kind of I guess drawing you to being a mentor? Besides for your family, but on the outside as well.
Because it's my job. You had guys, Dr. King and all those guys died for us to be able to reach our younger generation and teach them the things that we already know. And what people don't realize is, to talk in uh, children terms right now, having a mentor is like the biggest cheat code you can have, because the things that you're trying to do, they've already done, or the
Mhm.
places that you're trying to go, they've already been. And instead of you bumping your head against the wall trying to figure it out, they can give you the cheat code and say, hey, why don't you shift to the left and maybe you'll go farther that way. It's almost like having a coach in any football team, major team. The reason they have a coach and just not players, because that coach is normally somebody that's been where they at and can see the things that they can't see coming. So they tell them what to do, and if they do what they tell them to do, they end up being pretty good.
So McLeod, so why do you feel like so I guess and we're going to discuss the video. So why do you feel like as a black man it's important to have a mentor, and not only have a mentor but have a mentor that's in a different generation or a bit older than you? Why do you feel like as a especially black man father?
Yeah, well, first of all, I feel like just having a mentor in general is like Bruce said, like if there's a certain place I want to be, why not follow that person that's went through it for years and perfected their craft. And of course, you can learn like from the new generation and everything too, because things always like evolve and always changing and stuff. So I feel like it's me personally. I feel like mentorship is very important because if there's somebody that done slipped in mud 10,000 times, why would I just do the exact same thing when they could be like, no, you do this instead, so you don't slip in that mud. So if they have a track record too, if they have a track record of being successful or in whatever field, why not follow them? You know what I'm saying? So it comes down to, of course, the psychology behind it, because it's like, okay,
Hmm.
this is something different. I'm going from a mechanic to real estate now. Like
Hmm.
I don't know nothing, so let me
Yes.
learn. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So why not? Why not? If I want to be a realtor and I want to grow, why not follow him? He's done the work. All I gotta do is just copy and paste now. So not only just as a black man in general, but just a kid growing up that didn't really seek other stuff. Like I have coaches and stuff like that, but when you're trying to reach a certain level of success, why not follow the people that are already doing it? So, and he's the one that sold me my first house, or like you know what I'm saying. So, like the
Yeah.
house I'm in now,
Yeah.
he
The one you
sold
finna
it
say
to
what you
me.
doing right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like being able just to follow the footsteps of that. It kind of, and for him to not, what I love about him is, which I feel like, which kind of relates to the video, no gatekeeping. I think that's
Mm.
what helps like slows us down, because people want to just drop little information here. Oh, I don't want to give you this. But when they actually teach you the game and hold your hand through the process, it makes the relationship even stronger. You now become a pillar of a person's life. So even if that person passes away, you will always have that memory of them. Like, hey, I remember we went here, and this person called me come back. You know what I'm saying? Like we have
Yeah.
we have these certain memories that just last forever. So it's like being able to just have that structure throughout life into a certain career. I feel like mentorship is important, because now I could become a mentor to somebody else younger than me now from what he's teaching me. So yeah, that's my take on it.
I never had a mentor. I I had mentors, but I didn't know what they were. And probably in high school, I probably had coaches that probably could have been mentors, but I didn't grow up with a black strong male figure in my life. So even seeing that, I don't really trust too many men as it is. So it's like, yeah, nah, we not really. But I do think now, I think it's important to have somebody in whether you call them a mentor or not, somebody to guide you through life or to help you through life,
Yeah.
whether it's a part of your village. It could be an uncle, it could be a friend, it could be a cousin, it could be your dog, be whoever you want to help you kind of go through life. But I do think it's important, especially for uh, men that have sons. I don't think we understand how important it is to be a leader, even if we don't come from leadership. How important it is to have patience, to be able to like Bruce was, be able to be acceptance of certain things like that, and that comes from that mentorship. And I think even going to the video, he said like once again he didn't even know what a mentor was. Who he was so stunned that somebody came out, will we be a mentor? And what? You feel me? But I think I I think we're mentors to others before we realize that we're mentors to ourselves, and that's because I think our first mentorship is our kids,
Yeah.
and then we kind of branch out because it goes back to what you said. How can you be? How can you lead a pack outside the house when you can't even lead the pack? You can't even lead your whole pack in your house. How you gonna boot your kid out because he can't? Well, he can't read. Well, dog, he got. Well, come on, dog. We know he can't read. He can't.
But that's open to the mentee as well, because they have to want to seek the information. Like you could be a mentor all you want, but if they're not willing to be, you have to be coachable in those moments because you don't know nothing, bro. So it's like if you think you know everything, like let's use coaching for example. Hey coach, I'm really like that. I could shoot and dribble and all that. But the coach is, hey man, you need to this is what you need to work on. Nah, coach, I got it. Then when the situation come, the coach told you, but you wasn't coachable. So that relates into real life and like real life careers too. Like,
Mhm.
hey, I think I know the game, but tell me more. Be open to it. If you're not open to it, you ain't gonna receive no information at all.
Have you ever had? Have you guys ever had somebody, I guess, step in and be that kind of mentor mentee when you were growing up? I had it not while I was growing up. I didn't get it to when I got probably about 17. Well, I think I left home about 16 when I got about 16, 17. And even then I still didn't understand it because once again I didn't come from it. And I didn't understand it until the person that was guiding me passed away and it crushed me. And then I understood what he was saying, what he was trying to teach me. When I seen his body, I was like, dang, damn, bro, I wish I can hug you right now. I wish the kids could see you so you can teach them what you taught me. But I think even though what he taught me, I didn't see it as a mentorship. Now I see it. And now I think I teach my kids some of the same values in a different way. But I think I teach my kids in the same different values. But the question was, have you ever had somebody step in for you growing up?
I have. My father died at 13. I was 13 when my father died, and through my latter teen years, I didn't have. My mother was a single parent, but my brother-in-law uh, who stepped in and mentored me all the way through the time I went to the military, and he did such a good job that after being in the military a while and realizing what he did and how he molded me to be the man I am today, I reached back out to him and I had to thank him because some of the stuff he taught me I would have never knew if uh, if he wasn't there because like I
Mhm.
say at 13 my father passed away you know when I was 13 my father passed away so like through all my teen years my mother was a single parent but Chuck was always there.
Clyde?
Yeah, I feel like the mentor has always been there. Um, it's just I feel like it how can I put it? It doesn't seem like reality to me because the mentor that I usually had was like coaches and stuff. So the coach would be like,
Hmm.
"Oh, you have potential. You could do this." But in my head, I'm like, "Bro, I'm only 5'10". There's people that's on this court that's 6'2", 6'8", and you over here hyping me up, bro. I know I got some handles here and there, but it's like, but I think what I didn't gain from them, like I was more focused on basketball instead of just a real life because they was coaching me
Hmm.
real life character. Like you have a certain character about yourself that could take you long. Even teachers were seeing that, but I was like, I don't really see it, you know. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, facts.
now as I got older and I had kids of my own, and then like my mentor and stuff, like just understanding, I'm like, oh, this what they talking about when they talking about just being open to people, being more of a people person, just being able to talk and have that relationship. Like I'm starting to see it now as I got older. I didn't understand it back then. Cause I'm like, man, I just them girls just coming. So it was like I just got
Yeah.
some game or something. You feel me? It's like something going on. So, but over time, it's just like becoming more mature about it and just understand like, yeah, I have been mentored, but it was just
Hmm.
outside of sports. So it's just being coachable in that moment. I thought it was mostly basketball. Like I'm just focused on
Yeah.
basketball. But other than that, they, pops put his mentorship in it as far as like real life and the parts of like, hey, you doing this, you could get locked up, you keep doing this, you know what I'm saying? So just like being able to understand from different perspectives and just creating that level of knowledge through generations is helping. So I would say yeah. Whether I followed it or not, that was totally up to me. But you know,
Yeah, I mean, well, we end up look, we we gonna go our own directions at the end of the day, bro. No matter what the
yeah,
mentor is or who we have. But I think I think it's important. I think we have to start realizing that we have those powerful people in our village, and we just don't understand it. And I think we have to
yeah,
give them flowers while they're alive, because, bro, and man, it hurts. It hurts when that person dies or they go away or whatever the case is, and you like, damn, boy, I wish I can just chop it up with you one more time. I wish
yeah.
I
Because
can,
you never know
I
how much
wish I
value that person has.
you
Because
you never
sometimes, which I
know.
found this from Bruce, sometimes you just have to ask the right question.
Hmm.
You do, and sometimes you're not
So,
gonna like the
so,
answer.
so your coaches was trying to help you out, and you didn't. You probably didn't understand it, but Spud
Mhm.
Webb was only 5'7", so you 5'10". You a whole 3 inches taller.
3 inches.
Yeah, you're
You
right.
could have been, you could have been a thing. But I think it's important. And I definitely think it's important when you get into a new field or something like that, or you're trying to learn something new. Like I don't have no mentors in this podcast game or content game. I just do it.
We
But I do
figuring it
have,
out.
I do have homies that do videos. I got McLeod who has better networking skills than I have. So I talk to him, so I do have people who I do go to, but I do think mentors, are important. We have to, like you said, just giving them flowers, bro. And I think, do you do you think mentors fall into that fatherhood category, or do you think it depends on the type of mentor that they are?
Uh, it depends on the type of mentor that they are, and how they view their mentees. Now, like me, I love McLeod like my son. So I look at him like he's my son. So when I think about things that he may need, to be honest, he will tell you that times I just, hey, you got it. Like, I because I'd rather see him succeed than to fail. But I also look at him and his wife like they my family, because
Mm,
I met his wife before I met him. I met him through his wife. Uh, Matter of fact, I met his wife at Dunkin' Donuts, and I always say that God puts me in places for certain things, and sometimes I might not know why I'm there. So when I met her, I wasn't there to meet her. I was there to meet him through her. And
mm.
so come time as time passed, I met him, and then I turned around and started to mentor him. And I mean, he's been there ever since. So, and sometimes we don't know what path God has us on. And we just have to follow it.
Yeah,
Cloud.
I feel like it's most definitely on the person. But it comes down to being selfless. Like in moments of just mentoring, you gotta take yourself out of the equation because it's like I did it. If there's somebody that's seeking me as a mentor, that means you see the value that I have. So you have to remove yourself of head honcho and become like more selfless so you can help that individual. Because you never know what that person could be going through in their life. They may have even worse situation than you, but they seeking you for advice. So I feel like it definitely depends on the person because some people could just be like, okay, I'm gonna give you the ropes, but I'm only gonna give you little bits. I'm gonna gatekeep certain things because
Hmm.
they so big in their head. So it definitely on the person, bro.
Do you feel like there can be lines ever crossed? Or how would you, okay, when I would say, how would you guys handle, say, if a mentor crossed the line or a mentee kind of crossed the line, or McLeod, maybe you felt like Bruce was being too hard on you, or Bruce, maybe you feel like McLeod was being a bitch. I mean, how would you handle, I'm just saying, how would you go about handling that? I would like to hear from McLeod first, then Bruce. McLeod, how would you handle if maybe Bruce was too hard, or you feel like he was just maybe overstepping, or is something in that realm as far as because we're speaking on mentorship and how great it is, but we
Mm,
don't let's not forget that sometimes the mentorship it's not always great when we start. We have to build because I don't trust you.
definitely.
I come from a single mother. I don't really know too many good black men until I got older, until I joined the military. So Bruce, coming trying to talk to me. Hey, brother,
Yeah,
you kind of remind me of back home. Now,
exactly.
granted, Bruce can be a great person, great, but I digress. So now let's speak on do you think those lines can be crossed, and how would you handle something in that.
Well, I would feel like in those situations, you still have to become coachable because in that moment, you're seeking information from your mentor. You know what I'm saying? So being able to be coachable is also seeing that person's flaws on certain things. So in order to like learn from that and know what type of person you want to be, or the type of mentor you want to be, you pretty much peep game from every situation, good or bad. But at the same time, it's still an experience that you learn. So I feel like in that case, you just become coachable and like know how to move about certain, I guess, certain ways. You never want to go against your morals or character on certain things. So you kind of want to understand the play field at that moment. It, hopefully I'm making sense. That Alabama is.
Yeah, yeah. Bruce.
Well, I'm gonna say this, that a true mentor and mentee will have a relationship to where if McLeod is being a bitch, I can tell him he's being a bitch. He'll understand it.
That's a
And,
fact.
if-
That's a fact.
and
That's
if
100.
I'm wrong, or if I'm doing something that he don't understand, he would be able to come question me about it, which he has before. You see what I'm saying?
I know
So
McLeod. He will.
it's that bond that is built between the two individuals, because I'm gonna tell you that sometimes you have to be stronger than what your mental capacity has you at. And what I mean by that is sometimes you have to be able to overcome those flaws and recognize those flaws. And then when somebody point them out to you, you have to be able to say, hmm, okay. Because I will tell you that I have this enormous heart. So I help almost anybody. But McLeod told me many times, Bruce, you give away too much for free. You know,
Hey, you need
and to be honest, he's telling the truth
it's facts,
because
yeah.
I will help a person and don't know them, but I help them because I believe that that's my mission here is to assist as many people as I can
Mhm.
before I leave, because you're only here for a period, and it's what you do between those two dashes
Absolutely.
that makes you a man. And I will tell you that even with your kids, sometimes you're mentoring and you don't even know you're mentoring
Mhm.
if you're just doing what you're supposed to be doing. When I was in Korea, and I got a phone call from my sister that told me that my older brother died. Okay. Uh, 3 seconds later, I got another phone call from my wife, said that the vehicle had broke down on her, and she was in
Mhm.
Itaewon, and it wouldn't start, and it was in the middle of the street, and it was during monsoon season.
Ooh.
Instead of moaning and saying my brother just died, I grabbed my son. We went out there and we pushed that car out of the road. I didn't say anything to my wife until after we got home. After I got her safe, and we got home, and I told her that my brother passed away. I didn't know till doggone near 20 years later how that affected my son. My son was so amazed. He said, "You sat there and your brother had just died, and you were still able to get up, get out the house, and pick mom up and get her home."
Wow.
But you don't know these things sometimes until they tell you. But I was doing what a man should do. That's my wife. I'm not going to leave her out in the street
No.
in the rain and say, I can come out there with my brother to the side. So I had to go out there and get her. And your kids see that and they appreciate that because in his eyes, he taking care of my mom.
he take.
Yeah,
Mm.
superhero moments right there.
Yep, and that's that's why I think kids see the superhero moment. I think McLeod said that before is that our kids be watching, even though we don't think they're watching.
Hmm.
They're watching, and I think I notice it because my kids. I got a camera, so I got a lot of. I deal with cameras. 'Cause I'm trying to figure out this podcasting photograph. So my kids, I'll be chilling and I'll see them grab the tripod and try to set it up, or
Mhm.
see them do this, or I'll see my kids go hug their mom, or whatever the case is, or I'll see them. I dap my kids up every night, read a book to them and all that, and I'll see them. They're doing this stuff to each other. So when in the room, instead of napping, they're reading a book to each other. Y'all supposed to be napping, but I'll
Yep.
take the reading the book. I'll take it.
Yep.
I'll take it. You feel me? So they definitely see it. And that speaks on growing as a father, which is our next segment. So what do you feel? What do you feel is a oh, what does being a protector look like beyond physical safety? So it goes back to speaking on like one more mentorship, dealing with kids with adversity, stuff like that. Me, I think I have to protect my kids mentally because I have to prepare them to step out into the world in order to deal with what they have. Grateful two of my kids. Well, I don't know about the third one. The first one, though, she's so far so good. I don't know if she's going to turn out to be whatever she is, but I think just being able to teach them mentally and to be able to show them, okay, cool. Well, this is daddy going to be a little hard on you, but when you get out into the world, it's going to be a little more harder. But I'm going to prepare you for it so you can get out there. Especially for my son that has autism. Hey, look, brother, I'm gonna love you the same way I love you. You may not understand that. He may think, well, I got something. You do got something, but it ain't you. It's a part of you. Autism isn't the whole you. So I think protecting them for me is more so mentally, also physically, but outside of that physical aspect is definitely mentally. It's because you got to teach them, you let them learn, and you got, like you said, you let them see. I think letting them see as well the adversity instead of shielding them from everything, shielding them from. Now, of course, you don't debate certain things in front of your kids between you and your wife, but I do think letting them see certain things, maybe
Yeah.
if it's something simple or something like that. Now, we're not debating punishment in front of the kids. Never, never. It'll never happen. But if we having a beef over maybe I raise my voice, we can talk about that in front of the kids. So it shows our kids how to de-escalate a situation, but that goes back, like I said, so
Everything ain't peaches and cream.
it ain't. And the world is gonna be a bunch of stuff. It's not gonna be peaches and cream. So yeah, that's my take on that. Go ahead,
Go
Bruce.
ahead,
I
Bruce.
look like you got something you want to say.
Well, I guess my take on that is pretty much along the same lines. Uh, and but what I will tell you is, and this is one thing that I try to talk to all my mentees about and stuff like that. And Tay probably heard this conversation before. Uh, your children are watching even when you're not watching, so they see everything you do. Okay, so I get on guys sometime. I talk to guys sometime, especially when they grown. I talked to a 40-year-old man one time that was walking around sagging. Unfortunately, your children not gonna get a job sagging.
Mm,
So my kids have never, ever, ever saw me sag, and they've never came in my house sagging. Uh, and the reason why is because I buy you a belt for a reason, one, but two, uh, when people see you sag, when the educated of America see you sag, whether white or black, they look at you like you're ignorant.
mm,
As a black man, you already have two strikes. So you want them to give you that strike too? Something that you could fix? Sometimes all those people that work cool in school, you wonder why you working for them now. Because they took care of their future. And I know that, sometimes it's kind of hard if you grew up that way and grew up around people, everybody that was doing it. But what you have to understand is that uh, it was a day that black men all they wore was suits. When they went to the bank,
Hmm.
they wore a suit. You know, when they went to do business in their office, they wore a suit. But you know, wearing a suit is just not to look sharp. It's psychological warfare. And
Yeah.
the reason why it's psychological warfare is because when I walk into a bank in a suit, they treat me
They
totally
lighten
different
up.
from when I walk in there in tennis shoes and sweats or jeans or whatever, or when I walk in there in my motorcycle gear. So when I do business, and McLeod will tell you, 99.9% of the time, I do business in a suit. All except the time when I was losing weight, so I wasn't gonna keep buying suits. I lost the weight
Yeah.
and I put it back on. But I do business in a suit for a reason because to me, I want to sell $1 million houses and more than that.
Hmm.
But ain't nobody giving me $1 million house to sell in no jeans and a t-shirt.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? They want to know when you come to the room that it's a difference from being in the room and being present. Because you can be in the room and not be anybody, but you can be in the room and be present, and everybody will respect what's coming out your mouth. And sometimes that comes with doing things like dressing properly, dressing for business, um, looking educated. You know, you can look educated and not even be educated, and people will think you're educated.
Hmm.
I hate to say it that way because I have
Military.
met some people.
The
I have
military.
met some people that way. You know, they good till they open their mouth. Just stay there and be quiet.
Yeah, just staying there. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, just staying there.
Yeah. I definitely
Look,
feel
man.
I agree with y'all, man. Mental for real. Because if we could structure the younger generation's mental capacity with everything, cause like Bruce said, we already got odds against us as black men, bro. So it's like being able to correct our kids in a more mental capacity uh, will only prepare them for life once they get out there. Because now we also have, because my kids ain't in no private school or nothing. They going straight public school. So you gonna have these peers that's little
Well,
thugs.
if I
You
get
know what I'm
rich,
saying?
they going to
You know what I'm
private
saying?
school.
So like that kind of builds them their character right there, because it's like, okay, I'm understanding now. But the only thing I have a problem with is, which I know is just the color they like the color of their skin they feel like is a problem. Because I know when I was young, bro. Um,
Who feel like it's a problem?
no, I'm speaking for myself. So
Oh,
like
okay.
for me when I was young, bro, I started seeing the difference, like how you treating a black person versus the white person. So like at one point in my life, bro, I just wanted to be white because it's like, why am I always feeling like I get the end of the stick, bro? I'm always getting in trouble or something, but little John over here just got off on some small stuff that I did last week. So it's like, and it kind of irritates me as I got older, but now I'm trying to learn how to teach my kids now. So it's like, because certain parents like of our different race, they teaching their kids how to be racist,
Hmm.
but I want my kids to identify a color in a way, but still don't look at them differently. So it's like it still comes to the mental part of it, but it's like I still have to hold a certain level of respect for another person now because of the color of their skin. I can't just talk to you regularly because now you're judging me because I got a do rag on, or you're judging me because I could be very educated. I could have more money than you, and I got a hoodie on. But you're judging me because of the type of clothes I'm wearing. So it's like sometimes the mental part is good, but you have to also instill that into your kids because right now you're just a beautiful young girl. You just going about life. But as you get older,
You ain't gonna
people will
always be that
start thinking.
beautiful young girl. Yeah.
Exactly. Now you getting called all type of names like, Dad, why they just call me a hoe? Why they calling me this? Why girls in music got these little shorts on and dancing? Like you have to mentally prepare them for that and let them know like, hey, you don't have to be explicit just to be famous, you know? hold yourself in this type of way, and that's why I feel like that's the importance of having like your spouse or you know whatever kind of mold them into that woman they want to be. But it's also a father's duty to make sure they hold themselves accountable because you know how social media is coming. It kind of they make it seem okay. They make perversion okay, you know, and we don't want that just in inside generation of being fathers in this generation. So yeah, it's a lot, bro. It's a lot.
I mean, it is, and I, you know, I just think we got to do better with, like I said, we're learning. We're learning how to be better. We're learning how to do things besides just being physical, because just being able to be have that physical security or that physical aspect, that shit gonna get you in trouble. It's gonna get you because everything don't need to be physical. Even if it's discipline, if it's squashing the beef or get like me and Cloud getting pulled over, you don't necessarily just all
Yeah,
right. Here you go. Yeah, before I got pulled over the other day, but before the cop got to the car, here you go. Yeah, we ain't
yeah.
got no. I got 3 kids. I got to make it home to. So
Yeah.
that whatever that is, I think like it goes back to teaching our kids, showing our kids, and then not only just showing them, but showing them without showing them. You know, being there, being that father. You know, so
Yeah,
it's a lot, bro.
we
It's
can't hide it from them. Can't hide it from them. It's
nah,
gonna
nah,
eventually come out either from them experiencing that situation or from their like them peers in general, because they're gonna be around them most of the day. So we have to, as dads, I feel like just mentally prepare them for what could happen, which is
true.
especially for our sons, you know. So
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot. So segment 5, before we get to our last segment. Dad knows best. Bruce like to play a little game here. Like to break up a little tension a little bit. Sometimes stuff get heavy. The
yeah,
games are meant to be fun. Now, sometimes they get a little competitive. All right, McLeod like to cheat, so he may have his phone out or something like that. So it's just
we
5 questions.
good. We good.
5 questions, three multiple choice, and then I'll give you the answers. I'm gonna add a little ticker down here. Let's see if this thing shows up. Did it show up? Nope. Boom. All right, cool. So I'm gonna see if I can add. Oh, I can't edit it. So never mind. All right, cool. So the first question is, what is the number one things kids say make them feel loved? Gifts, time with parents, or praise?
Time with parents.
Praise.
I say time with parents. I say time with parents. Let's see what it say down here. And the answer is okay. You said time with praise, Bruce. McCloud, you said praise. I said time with praise. The answer is time, not time with praise, time with parents. Yes, it's time with parents. Yeah, that makes sense. I can get praise too because I do think we kids do better with praise. The same way you discipline a child, you got to praise them as well. So I do think they do good with praise. But I think when it comes to this, probably yeah, time with parents.
Yeah,
Next,
I could see it, but it's like, damn, bro, time with parents because it depends on the type of parents you are too.
or
Cause
what type
you
of
know,
time you having.
I mean,
You
you could
you
pray,
could be
you
having a
pray.
bad time with your parents too. So I
Yeah,
get but I get it. All right, second question. What percentage of kids say they want more time with their parents? 40%, 60%, or 70%?
60%.
60%. McLeod.
mm, I say 70% now. Due to the
I'm at
last,
40. I'm at 40%. I'm at
I don't
40%.
know,
Let's see what
cause
it
cause
say.
my daughter been asking for her
Ah.
mama. What?
You said, Bruce, what you say? You said 60, Bruce?
Mm-hmm.
McLeod?
It was
70?
70. Yep,
Ah,
I'm
it was
right in
70. It was C, yup. It was C.
it. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
everybody
he had
got
his
one.
phone out
Everybody
on
got
that.
one. Everybody got one. Everybody got one. Everybody got. Yeah, he probably was on his phone now. Everybody got one.
Losers.
All right. Next question. I think it depends on what parent, but if you're speaking about just in general, yeah, I think 70%
Yeah,
makes
cause
right because
my
my kids
daughter was
always want
asking
to
for her mama all day.
all day. I can't even play the game without my kids coming in the room trying to spend
Yeah,
time, and I
so
love
yeah.
it. I love it. I love it. But Come on now. Come on
Yeah.
now. Big. What happened?
No, no, go ahead.
All right. Question number 3. What builds the strongest parent child trust? A. Discipline. B. Listening. C. Rewards. Ooh,
Be listening.
listening. The strongest.
Say the question again.
What builds the strongest parent child trust? Discipline, listening, or rewards? I'm with Bruce. I
Discipline.
say listening. I say
Discipline.
listening. You say discipline, boy. You got
Discipline.
to. Boy, you think everything leads to ass whipping, don't you? That
Yeah.
means you.
Yeah.
Bruce ain't been talking to you enough. All right, we need to have more conversation.
Yeah, watch. Watch that answer. Watch it.
Discipline. All right. I'm with Bruce. The answer is listening, my boy. Listening. What builds the strongest parent-child trust? Discipline
Because
don't always equal trust.
if you only discipline them, then they don't want to come to you. They don't trust you good enough to come to you, well enough to come to you with their big problems because they think that you're gonna get pissed off,
Yeah.
and I ain't gonna come to you and get an ass whooping.
Yeah. You're right. You're
I'm
right.
gonna
You
just
got
lie, let you find. Yeah, you got to find out. Yeah,
yeah,
you gonna have to figure this
that
out.
makes sense. God damn. Okay.
Damn. All right. So 2-2-1. McLeod, you losing right now, dog. All right, you
Come
losing.
back.
Question number 3. What matters more to kids long term? Financial support, emotional support, or rules? I say long term.
I
I say
say
financial support.
I say emotional support.
Emotional.
Hmm.
I think
I say
emotional
So
support.
financial. Bruce say emotional.
they can
McLeod.
make their own money.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can.
I feel like emotional support. That makes sense.
Emotional.
Yeah.
Emotional. I think this will put Bruce up front, but this will tie me and you, McLeod. All right. So emotional. God damn it. It's emotional support. Motherfucker.
Yeah,
I can
that
see,
makes
I
sense.
can see it though. I can see it because, like, you right. You make your own money, but if my child can always come back to me and talk to me, or can just come cry, or we can cry together, or we can talk together, or you can come to me and feel unjudged, then
Yeah.
we should kind
That
of be
that'll be a
golden.
big
So
impact on them later on in life.
it
Yeah. Cause
for
they'll run
sure,
through
for
that
sure.
money.
They gon'
Yeah.
they gonna run through it, and but I mean, and they probably gonna call you for some more. And then
Hmm.
me personally, well, you out of luck, son. And look, I gave you the tools to do this, and
Yep.
you got a job, and you made great money because I made sure of this. I don't
Yep.
understand how you broke. I just
Yeah.
he ain't got no
And
kids
then
either. Oh yeah, nah.
yeah, just the fact that just them coming and hitting you up about money and then dipping out, that emotional support is gone. So to keep them around, they eventually gonna seek the financial gain of it, but for now it's gonna be, hey dad, let me get your advice on this or something.
For sure. Okay. Last question. What is the biggest predictor of child confidence? A. School success. B. Parent relationships. C. Friendships. The biggest predictor. I
I'm
got
gonna
B.
say B. I'm gonna say B.
Damn, Bruce. I hope you get this wrong, bro. I hope we both get this wrong, because we. Well, I mean, I think he done won anyway because he up 3 and it's 2-2. So even if he get this wrong, I
What was the
already said
choices
B.
again? I gotta think about this.
School success, parent relationships, or C. Friendships.
I say
Stop
friendship.
rubbing your beard on the mic, man.
I say friendships.
You say friendship. All right. For either the tie or the win. Okay. The answer is, now I'm out of this. So if I get this wrong, you say friendship, parenting, and parenting. The answer is, drum roll, please. Parent relationships. For the winner, Mr. Bruce here. That's some bullshit.
Ah,
Well, I say you don't get old being no fool.
ah. See, see, the old age gains the experience for him. That's why he know some stuff.
All
Dang.
right, cool. So Bruce beat us 3-2-2. All right. So, we ain't got no prizes for you, but thank you for playing. Morally, you could
Yeah,
say
we
you
ain't
beat
there yet.
you beat some young whippersnappers. All right. All
Got
right.
something
But
to brag about now.
it was kind of unfair because, we just started raising kids. You've been raising them for a minute. So it's not fair. You got a little advantage. You got a little
It was
advantage.
unfair. It was unfair anyway. You know why?
Why?
Because what? How many kids you got?
Three?
And you got three too, right, Tay?
Hmm.
See, I got a whole lot more kids than y'all, so
Oh shit. I thought you only had three. Yeah, damn.
Yeah, so he got
Bruce
the
is out
experience
here
early.
going city to city. Oh man, I thought you had them three. Yeah, see, I got
well,
three. I can't. I ain't doing no more.
I got, I got four. Uh, two by one wife and two by my ex-wife, and then two with my current wife. But I got a few out there that was doing my single years. You know, Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Yeah, well, he let his hat was home, and when he died, goddamn it, all we know we left with some loans. Yeah, yeah, I grew up on that old school. That's crazy. All right, cool. So segment six. So this is a open question. I like to call it open close question before we end. What advice would you give to parents facing unexpected challenges? Bruce, I would like for you to answer that first. Or matter of fact, I want you to go last. McLeod, I want you to go first, since Mr. Bruce is the elder in this. We like his experience before we close out.
So say that question
You may
again.
answer the question. What advice would you give parents facing unexpected challenges? So I'm assuming that like something comes up where like Mr. Bruce's son has dyslexia and they're gay, whatever the case is.
Bro, sit back and just breathe. Pause for a second. I would just say pause. You can't control everything because you become more stressed out about a lot that's out of your control. So just take time to pause and just understand the situation. Thank God that is creating a teachable moment for you, and you got it. That's really it. I would say that's the biggest advice. Stop trying to control every situation because God gonna come to you some kind of way. So take a moment, pause, ask somebody that may have went through that same thing, seek help, mentorship, but don't rush into it. Take time, pause, breathe, go step on the porch real quick or something, hit the bag, like
Get
release
some
some
whiskey
stress
or
at that
something. Yeah.
moment, and then once you have a clear head, attack it. Don't be scared of it. So that would be my advice.
Me, ooh, excuse me. I would say face it head on. Don't wait. Don't shy away from it. Even if you're scared, I'd rather I'd rather do something and be scared of it and come out victorious than not doing it and fail at it. And I never knew that I could take my phone and kind of create a little following. I ain't got a lot of people, but we get a couple views here and there. I never
Yeah.
knew that. And so I think no matter what is you face it head on, you don't be scared. You deal with the emotions, deal with the trauma, deal with the pain. I think the most important part is you take the brunt of every hit. You don't allow your kids to feel the brunt. Now, some things you gotta let them feel, but when it comes to things that can derail them or push them off the track, or things they don't necessarily know about, you take that brunt. But learn it, love them, and don't treat them any differently. Be there for them, cater to them, and just be the best dad you can be. Remember that you are a king. Remember, God put this on your plate for a reason because He knew you can handle it. You feel me? And keep it moving. And that's my spiel. Mr. Bruce,
Okay, so I'm gonna answer that um, with a story first, right?
for sure.
Don't want to take up too much time,
Nah,
but
go ahead. We got
You
time. Go ahead.
good.
y'all might have heard this before, and then you're gonna see how effective mentorship is, because in the end, uh, Montavious gave pretty much the answer that I was gonna answer, but I will tell you this: So there was an old bull and a young bull standing up on a hill. And the old bull, the young bull looked down at the prairie and all the cows was down at the prairie. And he said, "Hey, let's run down there and fuck one of them cows." The old bull said, "Hold up. Why don't we walk down there and fuck them all?" So the moral of the story is have patience. Don't just jump into it, because when you jump into it and hit head on, you hitting it with emotion. But if you take your time, listen to the whole situation, because they might be able to explain something to you about their situation that educates you more than pisses you off. So you just have to breathe, take your time, have patience, and sometimes you got to seek a higher power. Sometimes you got to seek that answer. You might have to pray on it, or go find somebody that's been through it millions of times and see what they did. But sometimes you just gotta wait. You got because our emotions, when they take over us, they could cause us to do things that we'll regret for life. So that's why, especially when you're dealing with your kids and everything and stuff like that, and adversity, sometimes you have to just pump your brakes and say, "Whew, okay, let me see how I'm gonna deal with this," before you deal with it. Enter it with a plan, because if you fail to plan, then you are planning to fail.
So I know we're about to go, but I got a question. So how do you? What would you say to somebody that's, I guess that's maybe that's going through a son that has ADHD or whatever, or that's gay or whatever? How would you tell them to, I guess, approach that situation in the best situation possible, so their kids don't shy away from them? And it's not just about the being gay or whatever, but I mean as far as any aspect from an older aspect. How would you tell them, a black father, a young black father, to approach that situation? That,
Okay.
and we're
Well,
gonna
you
close
know
after that.
what? I would ask him a question, and that question is: if you get mad, if you hate your child, is he still gonna be gay?
Hmm.
Mm, mm.
Put him to sleep on that. Say it one more
And,
time. For feeling bad. You
and
gotta
if
say it one
you
more
get
time.
mad and you hate your child, is he still gonna be gay?
It,
Man.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's better to love that child, okay, and be his support system, his or her support system, than to make him lose a family along with dealing with the challenges outside. Plus, to be honest, there's nothing you can do about it. Either you can support him or move on.
Mhm.
But is it worth losing your child over?
mm, boy, you spit, Mr. Bruce. But you know what? I'm glad you came on, sir. It was so dope to get an older aspect of life, especially from somebody who doesn't come from male mentorship and having that leadership. Like I told you before, is definitely kudos to you for being able to adapt and still love your kids, and to put up with all the BS, and even dealing with that blended family and having the different, it's a, I didn't even know that, but to even deal with that, it's even, so it, to do that, it's a, most men can't do that. And we go, I think now is, you speak on mentorship. I think I did this to kind of be a mentor to some people. I don't know who this is going to reach, who see this, who they, but the goal is to be able to share with somebody. So once again, appreciate you. Thank you for, just being a dope father. I don't know everything. I guarantee you haven't had a up every day, but from what it sounds like, you did a pretty goddamn good job. What, just dealing with what you had. And before we go, just want to say, if this conversation helped you, make sure you like, subscribe to all platforms. You can look at us on Let's Be Dads. I'd like to appreciate Mr. Bruce for coming on here tonight. I know we went over a little time. Thank you for my guy McLeod. Strong parenting relationships are one of the most consistent predictors of long-term child well-being across cultures. Sometimes fatherhood doesn't look like what we imagine it, but the love, the responsibility, and the impact, those stay the same. We appreciate you guys for chopping up with us. It's your boy York, my guy McLeod, Mr. Bruce. Appreciate you, sir. We thank you once again.
Yes, sir.